Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. So we have a new Gino stand-in.
Yes,
Can we call you
Gino's
that?
out of the country at the moment. So
He
I'm
is.
standing
So
in
you're
for him.
filling
My
in.
name's Jim Hollis.
Jim, it's good to see you. You
Glad to be
caught
here.
me the other day at the Stop and Shop dropping something on the floor. I was going to leave it there.
But you picked it up.
I picked it up.
Well,
Of course I
before you
wasn't
saw
going to
me, I
leave it there. So at our board meeting tonight, we just concluded the meeting, so we're still here at the Public Safety Building. We had a public hearing Wednesday, and so it went out a little over 2 hours. We had a number of announcements. We talked about paving of the town pier lot, the municipal parking lot near the Marine Department. And we had intended to pave it in the spring, but because of the harsh winter and all of the cleanup we have to do, we're going to put it off till fall, to make a long story short. We also talked about the DPW's cleanup plans leading up to Daffodil Weekend, and then after that. There's a massive amount of work to be done. There are streets, sidewalks, lines, signs, curbing, potholes, debris, branches, benches, trash cans, bike paths, you name it, it's got to get done. Easy Street walkway, if you've been by there, though, it's scary looking. So there are a lot of things going on with DPW, and they have to be prioritized. Priority number one is to get downtown cleaned up and the parade route out Milestone Road, and to get a lot of that dead brush and stuff along Milestone Road cleaned up. And then we will get to other areas like bike paths and line painting and putting signs back up straight and curbs and all of that stuff. So we're going to develop a web page that tries to have a pretty accurate schedule of what's happening when, that people could go to if they're wondering, like I did yesterday, when is Hummock Pond Bike Path going to get all the dirt and stuff removed? So people will be able to go there and look and see about when that's scheduled for. We also had a new business item, which doesn't happen very often, but a contractor who's working on a sewer project on Dukes Road came in and was asking for a noise bylaw waiver to do work at night. This is going to be interesting because the sewer work evidently is going to require a shutdown of the road from time to time, various times during the project, so that the residents along the road won't really feasibly be able to come in and out easily. So the contractor has suggested, can I just get the work done at night? And emergency vehicles would be able to pass through, but it wouldn't impede people during the day. So the board said yes, but encouraged him to try to find a way not to do it at night, but they understand if it has to be done at night. I'm a little worried it's going to be quite loud work. There may be equipment backing up with that very unpleasant beeping noise,
Yeah, heavy
excavation equipment,
Payloaders,
things like that.
excavators.
It's not going to be quiet work. So if you live on Dukes Road or in the immediate area, you might be hearing some loud noise next week.
One quick
It's supposed to
question
go
about-
Monday through Friday or Wednesday.
Are they intending to repair the road surface? Although I understand a lot of it's going to be directional drilling. And with the heavy machinery, will they smooth out the surface by the time they leave?
I
Because
think
that
if they
road's a
make,
horrible shape.
if they're, is that road paved?
No, not for past the apron for maybe the first 100 yards
Yeah,
or so.
that's a good question. I don't know. I will look into that though. Let me make a note of that. Dukes Road paving,
Not paving,
grading.
just, yeah,
Let me check that out.
resurface.
So it was public hearing Wednesday. We had a lot of public hearings, including National Grid came in to install some handholds in the downtown area, mostly for those big projects that are going on downtown, including 22 Federal Street, 17 Broad, and some other things. So they got approval for that. We had Nantucket Coffee Roasters asking for a common victualler license to have a little kiosk at the new Stop and Shop out of town when it's open. They also run the Bean, and the Bean, as we all know, is moving, so they got their approval for that. A group called Gray Lady is taking over the former Bamboo Supper Club and running a restaurant out of there. They described it tonight. The board, after a lot of discussion and some restrictions, approved them a common victualler license, entertainment, and liquor, seasonal liquor. Island Kitchen got approval to alter the premises of their liquor license. They're doing some changing around of the parking. I didn't totally follow the whole thing, but it sounded reasonable. American Seasons is changing ownership. And we did our seasonal liquor license renewals. Every year in March, the seasonal liquor licenses expire in January, I think, and they have until March to renew at the local level, March 31st. So we usually try to do all that on one night. And I gave my monthly town administration activities report. It is not every little thing we've done, but I try to give the board the highlights so that we know, so that they understand we're not just sitting at our desks chatting and sitting around and playing games. None of that. And just other things that are going on. I think at upcoming selectmen's meetings, couple of things we're going to be talking about. I think on April 1st, we're going to talk a little bit about the concepts for potential housing on this site, the Ford Fairgrounds Road site, over towards the Tacoma Way section. And there is an article at town meeting that would authorize a long-term lease of that property for housing. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. We're working on a voter's guide to the annual town meeting articles. It's meant to be a guide that explains each article in an easy to understand manner. Not the citizen articles, but all the town-sponsored articles. And that's what's going on. What are you hearing? What's happening out there?
Well, just a little bit about the town pier.
Yes.
That's
The town
they've
pier.
found a contractor, have they?
So, thank you. I forgot to mention the town pier. As everybody hopefully by now knows, the town pier was virtually destroyed in the January storm, and we weren't really bidding everything out and following all the normal procurement requirements was going to take some time. So we sought out and received a procurement waiver from the state. We put out, it's not really a bid, but it's a scope of work to a variety of vendors. A variety of vendors received it and reviewed it. We had 2 respondents. One was AGM Marine, and a very well-known, respected firm, and the other is called Coastal Marine Construction, which we hadn't used before, but references all pretty well bore out to be very positive. There was a kind of a big discrepancy between the prices. Coastal was around I hope I don't get this wrong, $78,000. AGM was around $1.5 million. So to make a long story short, we went with Coastal. They're ready to start very quickly. They can mobilize soon. I thought I heard either this week or next week even, and they'll get going.
That's great news.
Yeah,
Get that
it is.
project
So
underway.
we're very, we're all nervous about this for a variety of reasons. Number one, not the least of which is getting that facility open for business for this summer, before things really get going. That's a challenge. But also, this is a contractor we've never worked with before. The references were good, so we're very positive about it. And just unknown conditions. Bobby was saying he heard the weather forecast for this Friday might be snow. That can't possibly be true.
We can't get much more.
We
this
can't.
week.
I mean, I'm not going, it's not, I don't believe it.
I
It's not
think it's
going to happen.
actually going to be above freezing for several days in a row overnight next
You're
week.
kidding.
So that's good to know.
Unprecedented. Although, was it, I can't even remember when, was it warm this week? A day yet? Maybe
Not today.
the day before yesterday? I don't even know. So,
It's below 20 again tonight.
oh,
and
that's
in a couple more days.
ridiculous.
We had
really.
enough of that.
We've had enough of that. Snow, get gone. Anyway, so thank you for bringing up the town pier, because that's going to be a lot of eyes on that, including ours, and we're going to give the board an update again probably in a couple of weeks once the work has gotten going. What else? Anything else?
Well, gee, last week at Selectmen's meeting, I heard a suggestion that the population of the town is actually closer to 20,000 as opposed
I
to
heard that also.
more,
That's an
commonly
opinion, an educated opinion from the town clerk, but all municipalities everywhere in the country, official census is established by the United States government, and ours is 11,300 or thereabouts. And if that's not accurate, then the town clerk should look into how it can get more accurate through the established process. Sometimes they do a mid-term census, I think, if things have maybe really changed, but
Do you think there's any possibility that maybe non-reporting immigrant workers on the island are contributing to
I'm sure.
higher population on the
I'm
island?
sure
And lack
Yep.
of housing availability as well?
that could very well be, and we're not the only place where that's happening. Yep.
Well, that's a tough question.
It is.
Does the island
Yeah.
have a mechanism in place to monitor?
I don't think so. I don't know of any town that really has a mechanism in place to monitor, but sometimes these things get reported to federal authorities and they deal with it.
Well, that's a difficult subject for debate, so
It is.
maybe this isn't the
Let's stay
venue
away
for
from that. That's not really a town government thing, for me, anyway. So next week at the board meeting, we have a county meeting, but it'll be pretty quick, I think. And then we have our regular board meeting, but usually the fourth Wednesday, we have a kind of a mashup of items the fourth Wednesday, and we don't usually meet if there's a fifth Wednesday. We don't meet on the fifth Wednesday. So we have our sort of mashup next week. There's just a variety of things. April 1st, the board meets. April 8th, the board will not meet because town meeting will start Monday, April 6th, and we're unlikely to be done, I would guess, by Wednesday night. So, although I don't want to jinx that because I would not be complaining if we were done by
So get there early
Wednesday.
if you want to find parking near the high school.
Get there early, find parking near the high school. Preferably carpool as best you can, would be great. And then the board is back at it on April 15th, which is the day after the election. So we will have a new member of the board on the 15th.
Very good.
So, yes, all right. Well, Jim, thanks for the banter.
Well, it's been interesting, and I look forward to it. Possibly next week if you're
Yes,
up
so next week we have to see how we feel, me and Jim, at the end of the meeting, if we're up to doing the show. So luckily we were up to it today, and we'll be up to it next week, I'm pretty sure.
to it. All right.
So,
I'll look
okay.
forward to seeing you then.
All right, you too. Thanks very
Thanks,
much.
Libby.
See you next time.